Well, hi there, and welcome to another episode of Hey, What's Next? We looked at a portable cassette player with metal flywheels a few weeks back. In the comments, someone asked about my thoughts on another cassette player which other YouTubers had already reviewed. Well, with some luck and spending the last of my budget for the quarter, I acquired this. The FIIO Personal Stereo Cassette Player Model CP13. Is this something to get excited about, or is this just another cheap cassette player in sheep's clothing? Or in this case, a metal enclosure. The FIIO Cassette Player. This is what's next. All right, I am very excited to present to you the FIIO CP13. And there is our black and white, although the blue one would have been great. I used my own money for this, and the black and white one was, for the best price, was about $95 through AliExpress. Here's the side. Love the box to it here. There is the back. They have the security seal here, which I have not done. I'm going to leave that be. Fairly certain this is the correct product. There is the CP13 on the other side. I've already been playing with this, but I went ahead and packed it back up as I saw it for the first time. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. It's a very good sturdy package here. Alright, here's the quick start guide. Now the guide itself has multiple languages in it. Looks like the Chinese is first, English is second. So your basic information here. You are given a USB-A to USB-C cable. That is right, this is a built-in battery. So what happens when the battery dies? I don't know. We will cross that bridge when we get to it. So there is the cable. And then last but not least, here is the cassette mechanism. I love the little pull tab here, which brings that out. And in addition, we have a warranty card. And it gives the instructions on the authentic checking about scratching off the coating, and get the 20-bit security code, go to the website, check it out. And then they give you a screen protector. Now, other reviewers had the case. Since I was using my own money on this, I opted not to get the case, because this is really what counts right here. This is the FIIO cassette mechanism. Portable cassette. Here's the side of it. Love the volume knob. There's great drag on that. There is your power in and the headphone. There's no recording capability. We have stop, fast forward, rewind, and play. On the back, here is the FIIO logo. And you'll notice there's no belt clip, nor is there a hole to change the speed. That's actually inside the cassette mechanism. And to open it, it's got some magnets, I guess. It's really hard to get that open. There is the playback head, the ES4201. Several other reviewers have been talking about that. I have another cassette mechanism that costs about a fifth of what this cost with the same head mechanism. It'll be great to do a comparison with that, but we'll review that one another day. The first impressions coming out of the box, this entire device is all metal. So it's cold to the touch. Obviously the knobs feel plastic, but the housing itself is all metal. Again, I mentioned the volume control. Usually when I'm listening to it with the headphones, that's about as far as I want to take it. I did notice that the higher this goes up, the more motor noise that you might hear in the background. But again, if you're listening to it at a comfortable level at about this quarter turn to maybe a third of a turn. I didn't really hear the motor noise, especially when the tape was playing. There is no Dolby, but let's get over it. Doesn't exist anymore, so we're not going to worry about it. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do was look at the weight of this device and compare it to two other tape decks. We have what I called the copper flywheel, but we're just saying metal because it looks brass. We're going to see what that is like with the batteries. And then we're going to do the same thing too with the Sony Walkman. So let's see what this looks like. So let's start with the Sony. And you're looking at 6.7 ounces. That includes the battery. And we're going to see how much that weighs. That's 8.4 ounces. And what are we looking at there? 11.4 ounces. It's a beefy boy. Let's look at a size comparison between the different devices. Here is this one. If we look, it's about the same thickness, but definitely much smaller. So we'll look at the thickness here. If we put the two side by side, it's off by just a tiny bit. Let's look at the Sony. Obviously, the advantage with the Sony over these two is that this has the belt clip. You're going to see later in this video an example of me walking around with the FIIO and then just having to slip it in my pocket to listen to the sound quality of it. This isn't as convenient as something like, let's say, the Sony. But again, you're dealing with older technology, belts break, you're going to have to make some changes and clean it up. Where this is a brand new device in 2024. So let's take a look at this one. Again, if I set this down and we put the two together, the size is definitely with the belt is much thicker than this one. If I put it backwards like that, it's almost the same size. And as far as the size is concerned, the FIIO is a little bit taller than the Sony mechanism. All right, so now that we have looked at some of the aesthetics, let's get into some of the functionality. So the first item here is, what about charging? What's it look like? We have everything plugged into the EcoFlow right now, so I'll be able to tell you what the wattage is, but if you just plug this in, you'll notice that there is a red light right here. The power right now is really just 5 watts, so it's a very low power. So any phone adapter should be able to be used. There is no AC adapter wall wart for this. It's just the cable itself. So what about adjusting the speed of the cassette mechanism? You will see that there is a screw right there that you can use to adjust the speed by either slowing it down or speeding it up. You'll notice that there is the screw right next to the head that allows you to change the azimuth of the playback head. But as far as I could tell, everything is calibrated exactly as I expected. And on top of that, there is the stereo playback head. Since we've now talked about the FIIO cassette player, but we haven't listened to it yet, how about we listen to something? So what I have here is a cassette that I've recorded from a CD that I burned with some YouTube tracks and a left-right center channel mix. So we're just going to listen to a couple snippets directly from the FIIO player, and we'll do one comparison with the other cassette deck that I have on one of the songs so that you can listen to the difference between a $100 to $140 player to one that was only about $30 to $40. So let's get started. This is a direct line feed, so this is your headphone warning.
This is sample audio coming from your left channel.
This is sample audio coming from your right channel.
This is sample audio coming from your left and right channel.
this is a portable stereo cassette player, so what does it sound like? Let's first listen to a sample of me holding the FIIO while walking. Okay, now let's listen to it in my pocket. All right, that's my look at the FIIO CP13 portable stereo cassette player. Here are my final thoughts. So, what are my thoughts on the FIIO personal stereo cassette player? Well, it's a rather good device with overall sound reproduction better than other cassette players I've had recently. The metal case is a huge bonus. It makes this product feel solid and has a better build quality over other inexpensive cassette players being sold today. While I can't verify the internal components, FIIO's website does state they are using a better amplification system and metal flywheels. As I spent my own money on this, I am not ready to tear this thing apart. No way. As I showed in the video, there is no belt clip. In short, you have to place this player in your pocket or hold it in your hand while walking. As you heard, there's some wow and flutter if it's being moved too much, but an easy walking pace shouldn't detract from the audio playback. As you noticed, there is no Dolby noise reduction, and as this is no longer licensed, we're just going to leave it at that. Would I recommend the FIIO over a used portable cassette player? Well, if the used cassette player is in good shape and at the right price, you might enjoy the sound reproduction a bit more than what the FIIO has due to the components used back in the day. If you're not willing to risk your money on an older device, then this might be what you're looking for. To sum this up, the FIIO CP13 is a good portable stereo cassette player, and if you're in the need for a new player, you can't go wrong with this. Well, that's it for another episode. If you liked what you saw, click the like button, and if you want to see future episodes, I would appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button down below. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to see other episodes, you can click here or here. Until next time, I'll see you in the next episode of Hey, What's Next?